high standards, high goals, and we know what it takes to get there.
I want to be unguardable, if I'm honest.
Coaches coach, players play. And that's a great place to be in your life, where you could care less what other people think.
What's up? Welcome to another edition of Pawd Slama Jama. Today I'm Dunlap, joined by my co-host Jack Freeman and our special guest, sophomore sensational running back Parker Jenkins. Had a great freshman season for UH last year, finished with over 450 rushing yards. Breakout game against Sam Houston State, over 100 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Parker, thanks for joining us. Once again, it's your second appearance on the show. First, thank you for joining us. How you feeling, sir? And tell us, how was your off season as a sophomore, your first really full off season in college?
Yeah, like you said, it's my second time. I appreciate you guys for having me back on here. Like you said, my first time having a full off season, that was different. Coming in, coming from high school to college, it was really a big difference from going from straight high school, jumping into the fire of going to college. But now, after my freshman season, being able to actually relax, calm down, and develop from my freshman year, that's really the biggest thing that I've taken. And being excited actually to not jump straight back into football, going through that grind, that winter grind, that summer grind, that spring grind. And it actually feels like it's been a minute since I played. So like I said, that excitement within myself to get back on the field and play.
Now, not only is this your first offseason, like we just mentioned, now you're adjusting to a new coaching staff, new playbook, new scheme. Tell us about that, about the new coaching staff and how you're fitting in with the new scheme that they're implementing.
The new coaching staff isn't, that's something that a lot of people kind of struggle with. But with me, I feel like I'm able to adjust well with it. With me coming into my freshman year, getting used to a new coaching staff from the jump, I feel like me taking the tools that I took from when I first did it and bringing it into now, that kind of helped me along the way. Fitting into the scheme, Coach Fritz, he wants to run the ball. So as a running back, that's every running back's dream. So making sure that I'm available to be able to be fitted into the scheme and making plays around me, Stacy, Ray, and just doing what I can to stay healthy and, like I said, be able to be in the scheme.
Now, Jack mentioned, I asked him about you off camera before we started, and he said one of the first things that made me notice Parker's was his physique and his calf muscles, which I noticed how explosive you were. Jack, what was your first impression of Parker as a freshman when you first saw him last year?
Well, obviously, his physique. I just was talking about, I can't remember who I was talking to. Maybe it was Pat Paul, but you were in the huddle and I said, look at this dude's calves. They're ginormous. And that just you can tell just a lot just by, your whole body style. You're just very explosive. And you were able to show it on the field. But, whenever I first got in the huddle with Parker, me and him would kind of bicker back and forth, just rightfully so. He's a younger guy at the time. I'm an older guy, so I think differently than he does. He just got to college, getting a lot of snaps, getting a lot of reps. But I'm really happy to see that, you've gotten to grow a lot and you've been able to take that leadership role. Now, officially are becoming the running back one. I'm just really excited for you to come and, just show everybody that you are who you are. And I see a lot of potential in you getting a lot of yards this year and a lot of touchdowns.
What was that like for you, Parker, being a freshman, but like Jack just mentioned, now coming into that running back role with expectations to build on what you did last year? What's that like for you, and what's your goals for this upcoming season?
To hit on the first part, like what Jack mentioned, I remember it was yesterday. We were in the huddle and we had just gotten this little argument, and everybody was looking at us because me rising up. They're like, "Why is the starting center and the starting running back going at it?" So just a little bickering. But like he said, the growth. And a lot of people, when you first get into college, everybody thinks you're immature, you're young, you don't understand what you're doing. But I bring that mentality of me just being ready for anything. And I feel like a lot of people weren't like accustomed to that or ready for that. And so me having that different mentality kind of like allowed me to set myself up and showcase to them I'm not just anybody who could just come in and just like goof around. I'm ready to like play. So I feel like I continue to grow on that. And to piggyback on what you said, having those expectations, everybody, I'm not even in my third year, but everybody looks at me like I'm a third year back going to the league. So that a lot is expected of me. And I know I have a lot of guys in my room and on my team who look for me to, do what I need to do, get the yards, get the touchdowns like you guys mentioned, and bring us to the promised land.
Before we get into some of your goals, you spoke about that running back room, and Jack talked glowingly about yourself and some of the other running backs, primarily the other freshman who came. Well, now he's a redshirt freshman, Ray. Talk to us about Ray. Jack, hop in there first. What you've seen from him last year and your expectation before he had this injury, and what you've seen over the spring, and then Parker kind of jump in and tell us about that running back room with you, Ray, and the other guys.
Yeah, I mean, I was just talking about how last year, man, when I saw Ray, I knew that he was going to be explosive. I didn't really know Parker too much. We didn't get to talk a lot, but I remember meeting Ray at Coach Holg's house, actually, and he was just really quiet. I remember whenever he came on his visit, he was just super quiet, just super nice, got that really good charisma about him. And whenever he went there, man, he's just like, I guess you could say, like just Mighty Mouse. I mean, he's a smaller guy, but he's elusive, he's quick, he's fast. He's got every attribute that you want in a running back, like a speed back. And, it honestly broke my heart whenever Ray got hurt. I just couldn't even believe it because I knew that he was going to be really something special for us for his freshman year. But, Parker on the same goal as a freshman came in there and showed everybody that he can go play early in his career too. So, I'm super excited to see this duo happen. You got Parker and Ray. They're kind of two different backs, but they're both so explosive, so strong, so smart. And, I think it's going to be a great thing for UH. Just like Parker said, Coach Fritz wants to run the ball a lot. So them two alone will be a big factor this year.
To piggyback on what Jack said, when I at practice, I remember it was yesterday too, just being there it was a night practice, just being there, it was a screenplay designed for him, and just seeing that happen and seeing him go down, we were just like, dang, we knew something happened, but we didn't expect it to be that bad. So just to keep his head up, and Ray's a real level-headed dude, so he knew what he had to do. So once that injury happened, he put in the work, and now that he's back and he's able to showcase his, like what Jack said, his speed is crazy, and his twitchiness. I've never seen anybody be that quick and that twitchy before. So he has a something that's God-given. You can't teach that. And to speak on the other running back room, you have Stacy, who's another speed back, just like Ray. Me, who is a bigger, stronger power back who can do a little bit of that, but I'm more straight line speed. You have the two new freshmen, we call them Fat and DJ. Fat is a humongous back. I've never seen a back that big. That's like a Derrick Henry kind of back. And DJ, he's in the category with Ray and Stacy. But I feel like we have a whole complete room, and getting those two freshmen who just came in accustomed to what we're trying to do and get them on the same path, I feel like they're doing everything in their power to keep up with us and doing what they need to do.
Now, with it being a lot of new faces on the offensive line, new coaching staff, new scheme, what's it like for you, as you mentioned, having the expectations from your teammates and learning from what you did, maybe from upperclassmen like Jack, Patrick, Paul, and some of the other linemen that you are looking to build those connections with this offensive line group and just and build that chemistry so you guys can work unison on the field on Saturdays?
Like you said, that chemistry. Between last year and this year, I can sense the level of chemistry we had. We lost those guys. in the transfer board and things like that. But last year you could tell like all of those guys were connected as one. But to have Tank here, I feel like he pulls everybody with him. He's forcing that chain to stay together since he knows what it's like to have a line like last year and this year. But like you said, those expectations, me leading those guys to let them know that it's okay to mess up just to continue to keep going, because we need those guys more than anything to protect Donnie and to allow us to control the running game.
And to kind of piggyback on that, getting more into the coaching staff, what's it been like with Coach Fritz? Kind of talk about his coaching style, and as well as your position coach and how they are helping prepare you for this upcoming season.
Coach Fritz is a guy that I like to call a down to the T kind of person. He's down to every little detail, to us getting here on time, to us doing every little thing correct. Like if we don't, even after the play, if we're not jogging back behind to where we're supposed to be, he'll make us come back and do it again. So we can have that in our mind. Every little detail counts. And like I said, down to the T with everything. He's making sure that we're doing what we need to be, being where we're supposed to be at. Like we just, I think it's today. Like, what's today, Wednesday? Yeah, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we have a curfew. So we have to call our coaches to let them know that we're at home doing what we need to do. Like I've never had to do that before. So that's another like stretch that he has went to make sure that everybody's on the right path, to make sure that we are, like you said, getting us ready for the season. And to go to my position coach, Coach Joseph, he's a real down to earth dude. Him and Coach Dre that we just got. Those two guys are like, they grew up together, so they're real close. So it's nothing but good vibes in the running back room. And he cares for us like we're his own children. He gets on us the hardest because he knows that if we don't get going, we don't really have an offense. So he knows we're the key to the ignition of this offense. And he stays on us, and sometimes we just gotta suck it up and just keep on going. He like I said, he's on us 24/7. But he treats us well. He knows that we have the ability. We just have to believe in ourselves.
So Parker, tell me a little bit. This being your first official offseason, tell me a little bit about how it was training with Coach Hester and his staff. What different things did they bring to the table? Maybe different things that they showed y'all. Maybe just anything that y'all trained differently. Just talk a little bit about that.
So when we went through with Bauer, he was more swole, get the neck right, heavy lift till you can't anymore, kinda, sorta. With Coach Hester, it's more speed. You don't want to lose that speed. We're doing more sprint workouts than anything. But it's not like it's taxing. It's more change of speed, change of direction, accelerate, decelerate. That's when we first got into the spring, and he was telling us that we can lift the whole weight room, but if we lose our speed, we won't be able to do anything. So that was the big difference that I seen, and we were working out with weighted vest. I had never done that before, but it was a custom for each position group with how the shoulder pads will feel. So now that we're in shoulder pads, now I don't feel any difference with my shoulder pads, and I can say that has worked. But we would just do like little sprints and small conditioning to where we weren't dying, because we knew that you're not running like that in a game. It's rare that you're getting to 100% all the whole time, the whole game. Like the effort is there, but physically you're not going to be running 100 miles an hour the whole play. So it's little things like that I realized, and what we were working through, and it's small things like that. We do the yoga as well, just like how Bauer did. So but I feel like the biggest thing would be the speed thing, and how he makes sure that we're not like killing ourselves while we're training, basically. I would say that would be the biggest thing. Yeah,
for you alone at running back position, that's huge. You want to have that quickness and, be able to move, but also be able to move while having strength.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know that probably is a little bit different. And then especially I was talking with some of the O-linemen, and they were telling me how y'all train now with the weighted vests, and it imitates the shoulder pads. I think whenever I heard that, my jaw dropped because I never did that throughout my years in college. So I know that probably played a huge factor in being ready for whenever y'all started fall camp.
Yeah, most definitely it did.
Jack, question for you, and then kind of same question for you, Parker. As you look back and analyze Parker's freshman season, what areas would you say that he could improve on? Not that he was bad in, but does he can just work to get it to a next level? Then Parker, ask the same question for yourself.
Maybe just Parker was pretty good at everything. I'm just going to be straightforward. He was pretty good at everything. Just maybe some of the things that he could work on the most is maybe pass protection whenever, O-line identifies the front, making sure that he knows which guys he has to get. And, just like you said, Parker was always pretty good at doing that. It wasn't necessarily him last year that struggled with that. But, everybody can always do better at a few things, and maybe that is something that he's had it focused on. Running the ball, he's amazing at it. You can't really teach that. That's just God-given. He sees the hole and he just goes and hits it. He's patient. And whenever he goes and does it, he's strong. He'll run you over. He'll get it to the outside. Sam Houston, for instance, that one specific play, I'll never forget that. He ran up the middle of the field and then I think I was right there, went and hit the pile. Parker bounced out to the right, takes off. You can't teach that. That's just God-given stuff. But, I think for the most part, the only thing that I feel like the backs had a little bit of a problem last year was pass pro, and knowing that we're going to be, say we're sliding left, they need to know that they got the guy to the right. So I would say that's probably the main thing. What do you think, Parker?
Yeah, I feel like that. I can agree with that. With our, last year stuff, we had to kind of do a little bit of everything. And I feel like that kind of put us a lot of times in a bind, having to check almost everything. And we were kind of slow to where we were actually supposed to be, But to piggyback on the position coach, Coach Joseph, he works on a lot of us with the pass pro. And one thing we started doing this year was one-on-ones with linebackers, and putting us in the worst possible situation. So I feel like game time, you will see that difference that it makes with us. I'm confident with every running back that we have in the room. And I agree with Jack with what he said. My strengths and weaknesses are. Pass pro is something that I get on myself a lot about, because I know if I want to go to the league, I have to, because the quarterback is $1 million man anywhere. So that's something that I take a lot of pride in. I've been working on that a lot. But like I said, the drills that we've been doing have been helping, and me slightly gaining more and more confidence in doing it and realizing within myself the strength that I possess and the technique that I can use to help myself get there. I feel like it can go a long way.
Talk to us about the offense overall. I think you guys were picked to finish either last or second to last in the conference this year. How much is that as motivation, and what's your expectations for the offense overall? You got Donovan Smith returning at quarterback, Jack, Booby, also on the outside, a few other new faces on the outside. What's your expectations for the offense overall?
To be honest, I feel like we can compete with any team in the Big 12. That was the same instance for last year. We just didn't execute, basically. And I feel like that's the biggest thing with this year is execution. I was just talking to a bunch of teammates I think it was yesterday, about watching film and learning plays and running them. But when you line up on the field and you don't execute it, it means nothing. So you can practice until you're blue in the face, but if you don't execute it, you're never going to succeed. So just like last year, I feel like the biggest part is execution. I believe in my teammates. I feel like we can do anything we put our mind to. It's just a confidence thing and a within thing, just to know that you can do it. And that's where us as teammates have to be brothers and push each other along to get that out of, if that's the case, to get that out of each other. But like I said, the running backs is the key. We have to know that we are the dogs in this situation. We have to grit it out. We have to just get us going. One spark from us leads to, in practices, you can see it, one spark from us, it just generates a lot of offense. It opens a lot of things up. So us being the dogs and having to get it started every game, if that's the case, then that's what we'll have to do. But like I said, the borderline thing is execution. That's what everybody, the offensive line, quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, tight ends, it takes all 11.
So you talked about execution. You mentioned the offensive line. I'm just going to go ahead and ask you, with this being a whole new offensive line pretty much, how have you seen the growth from starting spring ball to the end of that, to the start of fall camp, to the end of that? How have you seen the growth in the offensive line being a whole new, 5 up front?
Every new piece takes time. Offense usually is the one to take the most time because you have to get everybody. You have to learn timing. You have to learn technique. Everybody has different strengths. Defense is always going to jump the gun on that because it's a little easier to do that. But with like Pancake, I feel like he took a lot under your wing. I feel like you were a great leader in that aspect, and you can see shadows of you within him. He teaches. He always talking to the O-line. He's making sure he does what he needs to do. Like I said, he's taking on that leadership well, and he's always getting on people, making sure everybody's doing what they need to do, and making sure everybody's in the right spot at the right time. I always hear him talking to the linemen. If they mess up on a play, I don't even know how he sees that, how he's messing up on a play when he's blocking a 300-pound lineman. So to hear him talk to them about that means that he's actually paying attention to those other guys, which is, you can't teach that. That's leadership that you have to take accountability in and time and effort to do that. But like you said, the whole new line, they're getting there. It's not the best, it's not the worst. But like I said, that's something that's going to take time. And as the year progresses, I feel like they can become a hell of a O-line.
What's your goals for this upcoming season? I know when we talked to you last year, you had some hefty goals, and one of them ended up becoming true. Being a starter as a freshman, you said that, manifested that, worked for it, and earned it. What's your goals coming into your sophomore season?
My sophomore season with a lot of expectations from outside. I have, as you know, I'm very hard on myself. I look to myself as the best. If I didn't do that, then that wouldn't even make sense. To goals, continue to be a leader. Keep working on that. Be the best back in the Big 12. I know I have the ability to do so. I just have to dig within and just grit it out like I told you guys before. Statistics-wise, I have to get 1,000 plus. I have to. That's just a must. I have to get 1,000 plus, and if I can get 10 plus touchdowns, I'll do that as well. Passing out the backfield, I don't really have a stat for that. But I know if I get it out in space, then out of the backfield, then I can make something shake with that. In a return game,
Jack did predict that you was going to take one back to the crib. He predicted that you was explosive and you was going to take one back.
Oh yeah, if they kick it to me, I'm most definitely going to take it back. I have to, because I'm only guaranteed a certain amount of chances, so I have to. But those will be my goals for right now. But yeah, I feel like I can be the best back in the Big 12 and just continue to develop that and work that and have my teammates continue to push me as I push them.
At any point during last year, was there a point in conference where you realized, okay, I belong here? I know you like you said, you have the utmost confidence in yourself and belief in yourself. Mm-hmm. But I'm just wondering, as a football player, that first game against the Big 12 was TCU. Was it anywhere along the line last year where you're like, you know what, I can actually be the best in this conference? Or was there in the off season? What was it a switch for you at any point in time?
I would say the switch would be when I had the kickoff return versus TCU. And I almost took it. I was like, okay, now I know I'm in the groove. Now I just got to keep it. That's really the biggest thing for me, is getting that groove and keeping it. Like you said, going through the season and just progressing. Do we win every game? No. But individually and in myself, I knew that every week I just continued to keep getting better, whether that was like Jack said with pass protection. As you continue to just, as things you can't control, you just have to focus on the things you can control. And those are the things I could control, where I could get better within myself, and taking that week by week and just getting better. But I would say that spark would happen TCU kickoff return. And I was like, okay. I was like, I'm here now. I know what I'm doing. I know who I am. I know this is only the beginning.
What have you seen from Donovan? I know he was limited throughout the offseason at some points with recovering from his surgery. But what have you seen from him overall? Leadership, play, and your expectation from him?
Donnie's always been a leader. That's something that I noticed when I first got here, and how humongous he was, 6'5", 240. That's crazy measurements. But he's actually slimmed down, and he's actually looking faster, looking better. And I always joke about him handing me the rock every time he gets the chance to. But that's just something that we always joke about. But I feel like he has a shot to shock the world too. You know, a lot of people kind of doubt the Houston itself and don't allow us to like shine on ourselves. But if we have to do it ourselves, then we will. Donovan Smith is a great quarterback, a great leader, great brother, great friend, great teammate. He's always pushing the linemen. He's always pushing every position. He's always pushing us to get in the huddle right, make sure the wristbands we have, make sure we're looking at the play, because in the game, he can't like tell every single person to play. We're going to have the crowds going. We're going to have the music going. We're going to have a lot of things that we can't control going. So I feel like in practice, he does a good job with us, keeping us focused and leading us along the way.
So let's talk about, you know, how the stadium has now expanded a little.
Yeah.
What do you think it's going to be like playing under that? And I mean, maybe tell the fans, maybe go buy some tickets. We need to
Most definitely got to get some tickets for August 31st.
Fill that place out, right?
Yeah, most definitely. But like you said, it expanded a little bit, but I know that's going to go a long way. Adding those little thousands of more people is going to be a lot. And the Jumbotron is crazy. Like I caught myself looking at it yesterday. We were in the stadium and I was like, man, that's a big Jumbotron. And my coach was joking. He's like, don't look at yourself running a touchdown on it either. And I was like, I did do that last year though, but he's like, yeah, I already know. So it's gonna be special. And we have crowd. You know how we did last year? We had the crowd noises going on in the indoor. So he did that in the game stadium, and it was just loud. Like you can hear the echoes. Like it was actually like a crowd was there. So it gave us a sense of what it will be like on Saturday. So
from a player's perspective, how important is it for you all to have the fan base come out, support, and cheer you guys on? Kind of sell that to the fans to let them know how important it is for them to show up and give you guys that home field advantage.
It's most definitely important because we know when we go on hostile places where our fans are kind of limited, you know, they're not traveling everywhere. It gives us a sense of being more comfortable at home, if that makes sense. Looking in the crowd and you see nothing but red, it gives you a sense of comfort. Like I said, us knowing that fans are there cheering for us, to have that sense of stability and knowing that we can count on those guys to be there even when win, loss, tie. We know that those guys are going to be cheering us on no matter what, and that keeps us going even when the times are hard. And let's just say we're down 10 in the fourth quarter, defense gets a stop, the crowd starts roaring, and that gets the offense going. So it's just small things like that that can help us along the way.
Last couple questions from me before we let you out of here. Jack may have a couple himself also. Yeah. With you being a Houston kid, I remember in our last conversation, you had pride in staying in Houston and wanting to see Houston excel and be a top-notch program. Coach Fritz seems to have that same sentiment and having locked H-Town down and recruiting all over the city. Mm-hmm. What is it like for you? Also helping recruit? I'm sure recruits come in and letting them know, like, hey, I'm from here. I stayed here. You guys come join us, and let's make Houston be a powerhouse that it can be.
Mm-hmm. Like I always thought in recruiting, why would you ever want to leave home? I know there are a lot of I know there's a lot that goes into recruiting. As I've just gotten out of it myself, it's a lot of factors, a lot of campus life, the different types of colleges, the different types of sceneries. It's a lot of personal preference things. But me, I was always a home person. I love Houston. It's all I know. I don't ever want to leave Houston. So when I got here and when the new coaching staff got here, I was just like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, what should I do? I talked to my people about it. And when the coaches came in, I got a really good sense from them. So I was like, okay, why not give it a shot, you know? And I'm glad I did. I love the coaches. Coach Fritz is funny, man. He loves Houston. He has family here. And like you said, recruit here. Why would you not want to come where you're, born from, where you got all your family at? They can come to every game. And like, that's another boost for the fans. Fans are like family. You get to know these fans at certain events. They get to know you personally, and it builds more of a bond rather than just, hey, I know you from the game. I know I know 23. I know Parker Jenkins. It changes from that to that. So I would say that's the biggest thing.
Anything else, Jack?
No, I mean, I'm just really appreciative for Parker for being on here. I guess talk about one thing, name a few things that you want the fans and the whole UH alumni to know that this team brings to the table. Maybe it's like just you feel like y'all's team will be, resilient this year. Just explain a little difference from this year compared to last year. What do you think that this team is going to bring to the table for this season?
I feel like the biggest one that you just hit is resilience. As we know that we are underdogs, that's a big chip on our shoulders. For me, technically, it's back-to-back years I'm an underdog, and I kind of love being that because that allows me to strive the best. Because a lot of odds are on you, but the better you do, the more will, It's like a risk-reward kind of thing. Proving the people wrong, I feel like that's one thing that we're going to do too. Proving these people wrong, and especially going out against Oklahoma. I can't wait for that game. That's probably the game that I want for Oklahoma. I can't wait to be in that stadium just doing what I do best. But I feel like that resilience comes with the fans as well, like we were talking about. Having those fans allows our resilience, our commitment, our brotherhood, and everything just to thrive 10 times more than what it actually would be, which is why y'all need to get y'all tickets for August 31st. So, but yeah, I feel like I know I'm going in circles, but I feel like resilience is the biggest thing. Us staying down and just trusting the process and knowing that it's not gonna change in one day. It has to be consistent. Time, effort, love, commitment, determination, grit, all of those things going into what's going to be a fun season.
Parker, we definitely appreciate you taking the time for joining us again for your second appearance here on Pawd Slama Jama. Looking forward to watching you throughout the season. But before we let you go, we know you had speed in high school. Who's the fastest back? I know you say Stacy got speed, Ray got speed. Who's the fastest, man?
I don't know, man. I'm gonna say it's me. I'm most definitely gonna say it's me. But it's gonna be it. If we line it up one day, I know it's gonna be a good race. I just know if we're all feeling good that day, it's gonna be a good race. I'm gonna try to set it up though for y'all. I'm gonna try to set it up. I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna set it up.
We're gonna come after you for that one.
Again, that's Parker Jenkins, man. Sensational sophomore running back for the Houston Cougars. Thank you for Parker. Good luck for the rest of the season. Get the tickets. Show up, fans. It's important. The players need you there. We're Houston alums, and of course, can end the episode without saying "Go Cougs."
Go Cougs,
baby.